Today we have 10 designer fragrances that are currently leading the pack. These here are on top of the game and they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Essentially what I mean by this is when you look at everything combined, the amount of sales, the amount of positive reviews, just how much these fragrances still come up and are talked about, these here are really ahead of the game by a landslide. So I actually had some of my channel members help me out. On the Top Tier Chaos Parfum, we have a private group chat where we could talk to each other and help each other out with any questions. And so I asked them, hey, what are some options that you think are on top of the game? And so some of these came from them. So shout out to my members for helping me out on this video. And what does that mean? That means that these all smell really good. That means they all are great compliment getters. That means for the most part, a lot of these are relatively affordable. These are just known to work and they have been tested by millions of people. We've got a lot of important ground to cover here, so we're just gonna dive right in. First up, so bringing the energy back down because this is your clean, well put together, well-dressed, mature, classy gentleman scent. This is something that you can wear to work. You can wear to school. You can wear it to anything. This is something that a high-end CEO would wear. I mean, this thing here smells ultra expensive and very luxurious. The best part is it doesn't cost a whole lot of money. I believe on discounters it falls in like the $50, $60 range, depending on if you get a tester or a full presentation. It also depends on the bottle size. For me, just a great scent that makes a whole lot of sense. I understand why this is on top of the game, and it deserves it, and it's going to be staying on top of the game for a while. It's hard to beat something like this. Next up, Azzaro Wanted by Night, the evening out, club, party, fun, sexy, warm, inviting, and spicy scent. Did you get all of that? I hope you did, because I'm not going to try to say it again. Fruity notes, cinnamon, and tobacco are some of the main notes here. You've heard it a lot. Most of you have probably smelled this. And if you haven't smelled this, there's a good chance you've smelled the original Wanted, which takes on a little bit of an Invictus style scent, but with a whole lot of lemon thrown in there. So you can imagine that fragrance there, but with the addition of tobacco, cinnamon, giving it a warm, spicy, alluring nighttime smell. So there is still some of the original Wanted in here, but it's subdued, right? The main focus and what's taking the stage is the warm and spicy notes, which completely transform this entire scent. The original Wanted, not so much for me. This one here is very much for me. And that kind of seems to be the general consensus. If you ask most people, they're gonna tell you that Wanted by Night is their favorite and or, in their opinion, the best of the line. The Most Wanted is pretty solid. Still, to me, it just doesn't really quite hold up and do everything that Wanted by Night does. And of course, Wanted Tonic, that kind of sucks. What makes this one so popular, besides the smell, is the fact that on discounters, it's affordable. This does not break the bank. You do not have to pay a lot of money for this. That means a lot of people can get their hands on it with less risk than paying, $100 for something. A lot of people aren't going to do that. So this one appeals to a much wider audience given the price tag here on discounters. It definitely deserves to be on the top. I think this is a flanker done right, and I think more brands should look at how Azzaro executed this flanker, and they should take some notes because a lot of the flankers that we're getting, they kind of suck. Next up, Yves Saint Laurent Y, Eau de Parfum. Apple, sage, geranium are some of the main notes. Amberwood, big player in here. This is a blue fragrance style, but done in a different way with a good amount of focus on this fruitiness, this nice herbal sage, and also a little bit of like a kind of a sweetness in here. Just the way everything mixes together. Ultimately, it's playful, it's fun, it's fresh, it's inviting. There's something about this one that's addicting. Even if you have other things that you may find to be more complex, which there are many other things that are way more complex than this, for me, there's something about this one that I still gravitate towards. I find it to be a great dumb reach scent, one that you can wear for anything. You combine that with the fact that the performance on this one is incredible. Yeah, this thing here, all in all, is a really, really nice option. The only downside to this is the price. So this is not really affordable like Azzaro Wanted by Night. This is going to be on the higher end. It is on discounters, but it's really not discounted all that far off of retail. So you're still looking at like $80, maybe a bit more for this one. So not cheap. However, when you take a step back and look at the performance, the quality, the compliment factor, and how many situations this one can be used for, it kind of makes sense to me. For me, it's a no-brainer, and I think for a lot of other people, they can say the same thing. This one has done incredibly well in the community and outside of the community, and it deserves it. One that is still kicking strong, and honestly, it doesn't surprise me. Acqua di Gio Profumo. To me, it just was starting to lose its momentum, lose its traction. You weren't seeing it featured in every single video anymore. And so I was like, it's heading out. I had you guys vote on your favorite signature scents for a video, which is up and you can watch that. And this won by an absolute landslide. So many votes for Acqua di Gio Profumo, so obviously this made it number 1 on that list, chosen by you guys. And again, that kind of surprised me because I thought the hype around this one had gone down, but it still seems to be strong. For me, this stuff here is a no-brainer. Like, I smell this, and I'm like, yeah, that is a signature scent. That is something any guy can wear. It's something that just about everyone's going to love. But the fragrance community is like a long, windy river. It just keeps going and changing over the years. And so I kind of thought this one was losing its love. But it's safe to say this guy here is still on top of the game, and it is still getting a whole bunch of attention. And a lot of people are still wearing it, which is great to hear. Moving along, Dolce & Gabbana, Light Blue, Oh Intense. Get a load of that. So this here still, in my opinion, is up there. It's still really doing well on discounters. When you sort things by best-selling, it's still doing well. When you look at the amount of reviews, this one is still getting on websites, still pulling in a lot of brand new reviews from people either just trying it for the first time or wearing it and kind of thinking about it and then subsequently making a review on it. This one hasn't been forgotten about by any means. We've had so many flankers released after this, but it is still, in my opinion, the most popular and is definitely on top of the game. Light Blue Forever, I think, may have the potential to do incredibly well. Will it do as well as this one? I don't know. That's pretty big shoes to fill. But I do think that it's really going to continue to gain traction as it does hit discounters and that sort of thing. And a lot of people really love it right now, but it's nowhere near the popularity and the success of Light Blue Oh Intense currently. Still on top of the game and still a great pickup for summertime. Next up, Armani Code Profumo. So, of course, you guys know it. The amber, leather, tonka bean scent. Sweet, spicy, creamy. Another one that's going to be more of your night out style. And another Profumo fragrance. Another Armani fragrance in the video. Kind of noticed that a lot of what's in here is from huge designer brands, and there's kind of a reason behind that, because these designer brands have the most money and they know what they're doing. They have released tons and tons of fragrances over the years, and they have access to the top perfumers. So it only makes sense that these are going to monopolize a video like this, and that's kind of what's happening here. But I would definitely say that this is still on top of the game. Still getting sold, still getting loved on, still getting worn. Absolute, I think, also is going to rival this. Keep in mind, Absolute is still relatively new. Maybe in the community it's getting more talk right now than Profumo, but as a whole, when you look at everything else, Profumo is still more popular. Next up, Dior Sauvage. It doesn't even want to focus on this bottle. It's still on top, man. Love it or hate it, most probably hate it. It's still selling like absolute crazy, and people are still wearing it all the time. This is not going anywhere for a long, long time. This one has notes of Sauvage, and it's understandable why it's so popular, because obviously it smells great to us. I think this smells good. Now, from a niche perspective, it's not that interesting, but from an unbiased perspective here, and I've said this before in other videos, I like how Sauvage smells. And actually, I wear Sauvage sometimes, believe it or not. I have a couple dollars worth of niche fragrances up on these top shelves up here, and I still wear this. That's saying something. Also, the performance of this is incredible. People talk about reformulation, all of this and all that, and who really knows anymore. But it performs good. What else can I say? And of course, it's a compliment getter. Duh. That's why it does so well also. And that's kind of the main reason. It's kind of known to be a really good compliment getter, and that's what it does. And when people catch on to that, everyone's wearing it. It's on top, and it deserves it. Dior did something really good here. Not that it was completely original, but they did do something good. Up next, we have Arrows by Versace. Versace Bow and Arrows. So this one, to me, is still up there, man. And this is the eau de toilette. You could put in the Eau de Parfum because it smells similar, although the Eau de Parfum isn't nowhere near as popular as this. The Eros Eau de Toilette bottle is in millions of homes all over the world. The Eros Eau de Parfum bottle, not quite as much. But the DNA in general is still kicking and going really strong and is definitely on top of the game. Yeah, people are still buying this, believe it or not. People are still wearing it. People are still loving it and enjoying it. It is staying on top of the charts for a reason. It just smells good. And you can't argue with something that smells good. Sure, it may be overdone. Sure, everyone may wear it, but that doesn't stop most people out there. If they like it, they're going to wear it. If they get compliments from it, this is going to be their go-to scent. This is another one, like all of these here, where it does deserve it. You know, it's easy to get frustrated and start hating on fragrances like this, but, you know, I'm not going to do that. I think they did something good here, and I think it deserves the success that it has, because it still has that success for sure. A new kid on the block, a little bit. Explorer by Mont Blanc, an Aventus clone, getting back at Creed because Creed copied Individuel by Mont Blanc. Fair enough, I respect that. And you know what? Mont Blanc did a killer job of replicating that Creed. This is a $40 to $50 scent. Creed Aventus is a $400+ scent at retail and like $300 at discounters. You can take your pick. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that Explorer rivals Aventus in terms of quality and performance, because it absolutely does not. Aventus is still one of my most worn fragrances. I wear it all the time, and I wear it over Explorer because I prefer the quality. I prefer the performance. I prefer the smell even. Like, there is a difference here. I'm not saying that Explorer is a one-to-one clone of Creed, and the only difference is the fact that this is way cheaper. There are still differences. You can't let that go past you. However, for most people who don't have a YouTube channel or don't have a crazy amount of money just laying around to spend on cologne, Explorer is a smart option, especially if you want it to wear on a daily basis. I mean, wearing Aventus on a daily basis would get even more expensive. This you could wear every day, and you know, it's $40 to $50 to buy another bottle, depending on how many sprays you wear, depending on if you actually do wear it every day, will depend on how often you have to buy it. But this is not expensive at all, at least in my opinion. Mid-range designer price for something that is way more expensive, it's a good deal. So this definitely deserves the hype that it has gotten over the years and deserves to be on top of the game. Last up, Spice Bomb Extreme Tobacco, Vanilla, Black Pepper are some of the main notes. Sweet, spicy, warm, and you know what it smells like to me? Take a smell. Here, get some. Smell it. Let's smell it together, okay? What are you getting out of that? For me, I'm getting Christmas. Christmas. Smells like Christmas. You know how Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille smells like Christmas? Smells like a Christmas tree, pine needle type of thing with tobacco and vanilla sweetness, obviously. I get a similar feeling out of this. Not comparing the two scent-wise, but comparing the two in terms of what it makes me feel like inside, which is warm and fuzzy and Christmas time and holidays and all that stuff. So really, actually, it's kind of like everything after Thanksgiving up until New Year's is what Spice Bomb Extreme smells like to me. After you hit New Year's, the holidays are all gone just like that, and then you're just kind of stuck in this time of living in a super cold time of year with nothing else to look forward to other than spring. That is if you live somewhere where it does get cold and snowy. Because after January comes February, and that's usually when it's brutally cold and you get a lot of snow, at least here. So then it's kind of like, yay, I have nothing to look forward to now except for when all this crap goes away. But leading up to that point, Spice Bomb Extreme reminds me of the times of holidays and decorating for Christmas and, you know, desserts and that sort of thing, opening presents on Christmas morning, hot chocolate, everything about it is accompanied by this scent here. And for me, I absolutely love it. A lot of other people love it as well, which is amazing to see that people are wearing this, because maybe that means that they will never get rid of this. I hope they don't. Like, seriously, everyone buy this and wear it. And tell them, like, hey, keep it going here. We love it. Alrighty, guys, that's going to do it for me. That is 10 designer fragrances that, in my opinion, are currently on top of the market, and they're going to stay that way for a while. If you want to grab any of these for yourself, I will link them down below so you can check them out. Also, if you want to see some vlogs, bonus top 10s, bonus reviews, early access to videos, all that sort of thing, check out the channel memberships. You can hit the join button next to the subscribe button or hit the link in the description. If you join the top tier, you can chat with me one-on-one in a chat room along with the other members up there. It's a great little community we're building where I can get to know you guys more. You can get to know me more with the vlogs and that sort of thing. And it's just kind of an easier way for me to interact with you guys and help you out if you have any questions. So we'll see you over there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.